chair yoga. So for those of you that feel more stable sitting down, you can do yoga on a chair. So as always, remember if there's anything that doesn't feel good in your body, a pinch, a pain, then don't move in that way. That just might mean that that pose isn't appropriate in your body, and that's totally fine. So honor what you feel, listen to what you feel, and do what feels good. And the rest of it just leave behind. You don't have to do anything. So what I would like you to do is start in a chair that's got a nice firm surface. So not a couch, not a chair with a big soft cushion that you're going to sink into, but something that's a bit harder surface, something that's firm, so that it allows you to sit up tall. So we'll start with our feet on the floor. We'll start with our spine lengthening, so our shoulders should be stacked over our hips. So we don't want to be slumped down in the chair. We want to be sitting up nice and tall. You can lay your hands in your lap, and we'll just let our eyes close. So we're going to begin with the first most fundamental aspect of yoga, and quite honestly, one of the most powerful aspects of yoga is the breath. So in yoga, we'll breathe through our nose, and it's nothing complicated. We're just inhaling through our nose, and then we exhale through our nose. But by doing that, it brings us a little more calm and serenity. So just begin to do that. Just that simple drawing in of the breath through the nose, and then letting it out through the nose. And we'll do this for several minutes. And it allows you the time to notice and reflect on the breath. To notice how long or how short your inhale might be. And maybe there's even sound with that inhale as well. And you begin to notice how your ribs expand and your belly even extends out on the inhale. And you begin to notice how the belly draws back in and the ribs come back together on the exhale. And maybe for the first time ever, you begin to see the movement of the breath in the body. So just keep breathing through the nose, in and out. And maybe give a little bit more time to draw that breath in, slowing that breath down a little bit, making it a little longer. Maybe you give that breath a little more time to flow out as well. We'll take a few more moments just in silence and stillness, just feeling the breath in the body. If the eyes are closed here, it allows you to kind of turn inward a little more. Right? You begin to close off all the distractions that the eyes bring in, and you can really focus on the breath. Just one more conscious cycle of breath. And then you can allow the eyes to open and still try to keep some attention on the breath. We're going to start moving, which can become a distraction from the breath. So really try to stay connected to the breath. We're going to take a twist. So we're going to bring our left hand over to our right knee. And bring our right hand behind us on the chair, so maybe you scoot a little bit forward. Or you can grab the back of the chair, and we're going to lift up long through the spine, so as the tailbone and the seat is still on the chair. And we're just going to begin to rotate from the base of the spine. And you'll feel that natural stopping point, right, where you've twisted enough in your own movement, in your own body. And then just stay there and breathe. Feeling your spine be really long. The top of the head is really reaching for the sky without looking up. Just keeping your chin parallel to the ground, but just feeling some extension in the back of your neck. Take one more breath here and notice how the breath feels when the spine is twisted. Then let's come back to the center. And we'll cross our right hand to the opposite knee, left knee. Left hand can come behind us on the chair or maybe grab the chair rail. Root down through your hips, extend up through the top of the head, and then we can begin to twist, maybe taking your gaze towards the left shoulder. Sitting up nice and tall. And simply breathing here with that awareness of the inhale and the awareness of the exhale. Breath is a very powerful tool to move the body, to create some space and energy in the body. Now we'll rotate back to the middle. Let's take both arms up towards the sky. Maybe your arms don't go all the way up. Maybe you keep your arms bent at 90 degrees if that feels better in your shoulders. And then we're going to just reach up with one hand, the right hand to start, and then we'll reach up with the left. So either keeping those elbows a little bit bent and just stretching the elbow up towards the sky. Or you can have both arms straight and just stretching one arm and then the other, getting a little bit of a side bend here. We're just finding a little motion, a little movement in the body, noticing your shoulders and your ribs. Good, and just a few little stretches, making some space in the body, getting long in the spine. Good, and then we'll bring those hands back down. We're going to bring the right hand to the side of the chair. Take your left hand up and overhead, or maybe take a cactus arm, and we're going to stretch over to the right. So we're going to let our head point towards the right side of the room. Maybe take that left arm all the way overhead if that feels okay in your neck and your shoulder. Maybe that arm stays curved a little bit if that feels better to you. So whatever feels good, just move a little bit to find, oh, there's the sweet spot in this pose. That feels good. Breathe into those side ribs, right? We're building a little strength in the torso here by holding our bodies sideways. And then we'll come back to the middle, pressing into that right hand to help lift you up. Take both arms up. We'll let that left hand come down to the edge of the chair, and then reach that right arm overhead towards the right side of the room. Or keep that arm bent, or if you've got shoulder issues, you can even let that arm come down, fingers pointing towards the floor. But keep lifting the rib cage away from your right hip. And then fill yourself up with breath. Breathe in through the nose and out through the nose. And just feel what that's like in your body today. Nice, one more breath here. And then we'll press into that left hand, coming back up. Nice, you can leave both hands at the sides of the chair. And we're just gonna lift our right foot off the ground. Doesn't have to be high, just a few inches. Just something so that we start to feel our thigh. And we're building some strength in that thigh so that we can lift up out of a chair, right? So our legs are sturdy underneath us. And then we're gonna take our knee out to the right a little bit. So we're gonna strengthen the muscles on the inside of the leg, helping with balance. And that's kind of hard, so we'll come back to the middle, and then we'll take the knee a little bit over to the left. So we're gonna work the muscles on the outside of the hip, outside of the thigh. And then we'll just place that foot back down on the ground. So you can place your foot back down on the ground whenever you need to as we're moving through these. We'll start with the left leg, lifting that left foot up off the ground. And you begin to feel like you've got to work the belly a little bit to hold that leg up. So we're strengthening the core muscles that help us to stand up, getting up out of a chair. And then we'll take that knee over to the left, working those muscles on the inside of the leg. Nice, not so easy, I know. I'm feeling it too, don't you worry. Bring that knee back across, and we'll take the knee a little bit over to the left, and we'll get a little strengthening through that outer hip and outer leg as well. Good, bring it back to center, and we'll sit it back down. Beautiful. All right, let's do a little work for the neck and the shoulders. So we're gonna tuck our chin up into the throat, stretching through the back of the neck, and then we're gonna inhale and lift our face up towards the sky, stretching the front side of the neck. Exhale, tuck the chin, stretch through the back of the neck. Inhale, lift the face to the sky. And I'll turn sideways so you can see it from the side as well. Tucking the chin, and then inhaling, lifting up. Moving with your breath. Exhaling, tucking the chin, Inhaling, looking up. One more time, tuck the chin to the chest. And then look up. And we'll bring our head back to neutral. Now we're just going to look over the right shoulder. So begin to rotate your head towards the right. And you'll know when it's gone far enough, right? When that natural stopping point just makes you pause. And then come back facing forward and take your gaze, look over towards the left. And then come back to the middle and just slowly moving a couple more times, taking that chin in the direction of the right shoulder. Bringing it back, taking it in the direction of the left shoulder. Bring it back to the middle one more time, over to the right. Coming back, over to the left. And coming back to neutral. Nice, very good. All right, we're gonna do some shoulder shrugs. We hold a lot of tension in our shoulders, especially if we're on devices or if we're sitting a lot during the day, we end up hunching up. So this time, we're gonna pull the shoulders up towards the ears. So we're gonna really scrunch them up in a tense position, and then we're gonna exhale and let those shoulders drop down. Inhale, draw them up. Exhale, press them down. Inhale, draw them up. And exhale, press them down. Nice. And now we're going to make some circles. So you can either bring the arms out to either side, or you can bring the hands to the shoulders. And we're going to begin to make circles either with the hands or with the elbows. Just circling the arms around in that shoulder socket. And your circles might be big and broad, or they might be very narrow. Wherever the movement is, the edges of the movement, just take it however it feels, however it shows up in your body today. It'll change day to day. So try not to judge if you've got good range of motion or bad. You just have your range of motion, right, today. And then we'll take those circles the other way. So if the arms are out, you can go from making a big circle to making smaller and smaller circles. But we're just warming up the shoulder joints. We're just giving them a little love, a little attention. Nice. And then we'll come back to stillness. This also builds strength in your arms by just holding the arms out like that. Now we're going to take our hands, make them into little fists, and rotate the wrists in circles. And then take your circles the other way. Nice. We're going to take the right arm and stretch it straight out in front of us like you're telling someone, stop. And then take your hand over the ends of your fingers and draw those fingers back towards your face. So we're stretching the underside of the hand and the forearm. And it's important to try to keep the right arm straight when you do this so that those tendons in the forearm can stretch. Good. And then we're going to take our left hand off the right, and we're going to bring our left thumb under that right wrist and just draw the hand down towards the ground, fingertips down, pressing just ever so gently with the left hand to try to get that right hand to be bent at 90 degrees, the wrist bending at 90 degrees. Good. And then we'll try this with the other hand. So we'll go ahead and extend the left arm out, take the right hand and just begin to draw gently back through the left fingertips. And you'll feel a stretch in the bottom of the left hand and in the left forearm. Feels really good to me. And then we'll release the right hand from those left fingertips. Bring the left thumb under the wrist. Right fingers over towards the back of the hand. And then just draw the fingertips down. Good. Getting a nice little stretch here. And then we'll slowly release that. And then you can just do a little flicking, like you've got water on your fingers, and just flick the hands. Getting some blood flow into the fingertips. Nice. Good. And now we'll rotate the ankles around a little. So lift your leg up and make some circles with your ankle. And then you can take the circles in the other direction. And you can point your toe towards the ground and then pull your toes up towards your shin. Do that a couple times. This may feel hard on the thigh to lift the foot for very long, so when you're done, just put it back down. And then we'll take the other leg. If If you need to take breaks in between rotating one direction and the other, you can always do that. There's no rush. Pointing and flexing the foot if that feels good to you. All right, and this one may not be accessible for everyone. I know if you've had knee replacement, this one can be tricky. So if you have and it feels like too much, you don't have to do it. You can go back and do any of the other exercises we already did. But we're going to try to cross our right ankle over our left knee. And then we're just going to try to lean forward in the chair towards that shin. And you'll begin to feel something in your low back and in that outer right hip. So go to just a place where you feel something. Shouldn't be pain. If you ever feel pain, just stop the pose and come back out. Right? We want to feel better in our bodies when we're done. And not worse, certainly not worse. Come back up. And let's take that right foot and put it back down on the ground. And we'll take that left leg and bring it up. And bring the ankle to the upper thigh, to the knee. And then we'll lean forward. And maybe you can do this on one side, but the other side doesn't feel possible. One side might feel tighter than the other, and that's totally normal as well. So if this is too much, back off or do something else. Nice. And then we'll come back up, and then we'll lower that foot down. And then we're going to take what we call a cat-cow. It'll be easier for you to see this, I think, if I turn sideways. So we're going to just make waves with the spine. So we're going to pull the spine back, rounding the spine, shrugging our shoulders, and bringing our chin into our chest. The feet are still on the floor, and our hands are on our knees. We're pulling our belly button back towards the spine. And then we're going to make the opposite movement. We're going to try to pull our chest through the shoulders, pushing the middle spine forward, and looking up towards the sky. And then draw back. So almost like the shape of the letter U, as we draw the belly back, and the shape of the letter C as we draw the belly forward. So this is a really wonderful pose for the spine, for getting some agility and movement in the spine. So these don't have to be big, exaggerated movements like I'm doing. They can be very subtle movements. You can be just moving like this. And it'll really help open up the spine, get your energy flowing again, and just make you feel good in your own body. But keep flowing the breath in and out through the nose. That's the most important thing. If you don't do any of these movements at all, but you breathe consciously with awareness, that is so powerful. That will keep you healthy. Nice. Good. And then we will finish with an eyes closed movement, and after that I'll give you some options to do standing, but I want to complete this practice seated, and then if you want a little more you can keep the video on. So we're going to again let our knees be just above our ankles, our feet are planted on the ground, our tailbone is rooted, top of the head is really reaching for the sky, so our spine is long, and we just lay the right palm into the left on our lap and close our eyes. Draw a breath in through the nose, and then let that breath flow out. So allowing whatever length of breath feels good in your body to just be there. Feel all of your joints and muscles just relaxing. Allowing that breath to just flow through and bathe all the joints, all the muscles, all the tendons, all the organs of the body with fresh oxygen in the blood, with healing, and with hope. There's a few more moments of stillness and calm, just breathing in and out through the nose. And then we close any yoga practice, just drawing our hands together at our heart center. We take a moment of gratitude for this incredibly complex and beautiful body that we occupy. For accepting its limitations today, and for also seeing the beauty in all of its possibilities. You can let your eyes open. Thank you so much for joining me for our chair yoga practice. I'll show you a couple more moves if you want to see for standing balance. But I'd only suggest this if you feel pretty steady on your feet and aren't at risk of falling. So for this one, we'll stand at the side of the chair and we place one hand on the chair. We'll place our left foot on the ground and we're just going to take our right knee up. And then we'll bring the right knee back down to the right foot down to the ground. Raise the knee and the foot up and then just place it down. And one more time, raising it up and placing it down. And then we'll switch sides. So we'll take the left hand to the chair, we're going to turn around. And we're going to use the left hand for balance. We're going to leave the right leg on the ground and we're just going to let the left knee float up, left foot float up. Lower it down, lift it up, lower it down, lift it up, and lower it down. So that'll help with balance, but we always want to have one hand on the chair and the leg we're lifting is the one that's between the chair and the other leg. So we've got a good foundation. This time, we're going to put the right hand on the chair. The left foot stays grounded. We're going to lift the right knee up, and then we just take the right knee out to the right a little bit. Bring the right knee back to the middle. Take the right knee over to the left a little bit. Bring it back to the middle, and put it down. So now we've got to negotiate a little different balance there, right? And then we'll turn ourselves around so the left hand can be on the back of the chair. The right leg is going to be our foundation. And we're going to lift that left knee up. So the knee's towards the same plane as the hip, but it might be a little bit lower, that's fine. And we'll take the knee out to the left. Bring the knee back to the middle. Take the knee over to the right, crossing the body a little bit, twisting slightly. Bring it back to the middle, and go ahead and sit it down. Nice. We can do our side stretch here too, placing the right hand on the chair, left arm comes overhead, and we sweep that arm overhead into the side. Nice, and then we'll come back up. And we'll do it the other way. So we're going to turn ourselves around. Left hand is on the chair, facing the opposite direction. Right arm comes up and overhead, and we stretch over towards the left side. Nice. Come on back up. Let that right hand come down. I'm going to face the front again. We can take our twist using the back of the chair as well. So I'll take my left hand and I'm going to cross it across my body. I'm going to take my right hand and just place it on the tailbone. And then you can pull against the chair a little bit to twist. And I should have told you at the beginning, don't be sitting on a chair with wheels, okay? We don't need you rolling around. You want a good, stable base. And then we'll untwist. We'll bring the right hand to the back of the chair. The left hand can come behind you on your tailbone. And we'll take a twist towards the left, maybe looking towards the left shoulder. Good, come back to the center. And this is one my mom loves to do, a little spinal extension. We're gonna step back a little bit away from the chair so we can bring our forearms stacked on top of the chair and lay our forehead down on our forearms, and we pull our hips back. So we want our heels underneath our hips, so we've got a good base. I can bend my knees a little bit, and I feel really sturdy and stable here. And then I keep just lengthening my spine. I keep thinking about my tailbone drawing towards the wall behind me, and the top of the head pouring itself towards the wall in front of me, and my spine gets long. Creating a little traction in the spine. One more breath here. Good, and then we'll just slowly come back up. So if the chair is lower, if the back of the chair is a little bit low, be very careful because you don't want to get dizzy coming back up. If your head is below your heart, you might feel a little dizzy. So slowly come back up to keep your balance. And then we'll take one last pose on the chair. So we're going to sit down on the chair again. Feet under us, nice and steady, long spine, and we're just going to reach our hands back towards the back of the chair and then pull the chest forward. So maybe I need to scoot forward a little bit more on this so that I can straighten my arms. And then I get a nice stretch through the collarbones and through the shoulders. So my hands are down low. You can even hold the seat or the back of the seat somewhere low on the chair. So you can lift through the chest, squeeze those arms towards one another. Nice, and then we'll just do a counter stretch, just rounding the spine. And that's all I have for you today. So hopefully if you do these every day, you'll get stronger and stronger and have more balance on your feet. If you have any questions, you can reach out to me on Instagram. My Instagram is Cleve Yogi, C-L-E-V-E Yogi. Or you can leave me a comment certainly on YouTube as well. I'll be happy to answer any questions you have. So just move in a way that feels good and you will start to feel better. All right, thank you for practicing with me. Have a beautiful rest of your day. Bye.